ever found yourself struggling to keep up with native English speakers as they speak? Because you're not the only one. It's really common to feel embarrassed or to feel like you need to ask someone to repeat themselves because you don't understand what they said the first time. Now, trust me when I say in this day and age, it is really valuable to be able to speak really quickly and understand native English speakers really fast. Why? Because it opens up so many more opportunities for you. We are in a day and age where you can work online remotely from almost anywhere in the world. How incredible is that? And so if you have the excellent English skills that a company would be looking for, which is to be able to speak and talk and understand perfectly, then guess what? You can make more money for yourself. You can live a life much more grand than maybe you're already living because all these opportunities are going to come your way. I always tell my students that they should never feel bad about not being able to speak English perfectly. Why? Because you already know a language. You already have your own language. And so when you're adding English, that just means you're going to be bilingual. And that is so incredible if you can do both of them just the same as you do. And so if you can do that, then trust me, these doors are going to be flying wide open for you, and you are going to find some better opportunity for yourself that you can make more money and live a greater life. So get ready to boost your English language skills and be able to speak fast and understand native English speakers with this video. Watch to the end so that you can see what the best tip is. So when you are trying to talk and speak like a native English speaker, the approach is really important. And so let's start with number one, listening more than you speak. So you're probably like, Dawn, aren't I supposed to speak a lot to be able to talk a lot? Well, yes, of course. But for now, trust me when I say to listen more. I made an entire video on this about how to actively listen. Now, pin that up right over here to actually boost your ability to speak English quicker. Why? Because when you are active listening, you are focusing on all of the small details. Your ears are perking right up and they are like, oh, this is how they pronounce this word. Oh, you're supposed to say comfortable, not comfortable. Oh, this accent says something like this. And so it's making your ear trained to be very flexible and to be able to question everything so that you can learn from it much quicker. So listen. Focus on listening so much more than you already do right now. And again, it has to be an active listening, not just a passive, just like, okay, I'm listening in the background. No, you need to actively listen. You have to focus on everything as you are listening to it so that you can pull details out of what you are listening to. And the more you do this, especially with different accents, it's going to be so much easier to understand them. Trust me, when you decide to move abroad, if you want to move to US, Canada, anywhere in England, like all of these different places have so many different foreigners in them because they're melting pots. They have people from all over the world going to these countries all the time, and they all have different accents. So if you can adjust your ear to be able to listen and be flexible and be able to understand everybody just fine, you're gonna be great.
Now you listen to me, sir.
Here we go.
Okay, step number 2 actually goes off of step number 1, and that is to focus on pronunciation. So going back to listening, I want you to really force yourself to understand how things are being pronounced. Listen to podcasts, listen to TV, listen to everything that you can when there is someone speaking fluent English, because you want to make sure that you are understanding how things are being pronounced. If you're interested in a whole video on this, I have a video, of course. And it's about how to say things properly. There's 14 words that you can pronounce correctly.
In Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen. Now, repeat that after me. In Hartford, Hereford, and Hampshire, hurricanes hardly ever happen.
All right, the next step would be number 3, to build your vocabulary. Vocabulary building is so important, people. You need to be able to speak without repeating yourself or without sounding too basic or intermediate. If you want to sound like a true professional, if you want to sound like an actual person who speaks well in English, you need to diversify your vocabulary. You can't just say the same word over and over again. You can't just say, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. Oh, I'm doing great today. tiddly-do, fantastic. I just made that up. But there's so many different variations in words in English that you can use in practice instead of just saying one certain way all the time. It's going to make you sound so much more basic and intermediate if you just say it the one type of way you always do. Diversify your vocabulary, learn new words every day, learn one word a day. And trust me, in a few weeks from now, you're going to already know so many more words than you did if you hadn't started. So diversify your vocabulary to sound more advanced.
Can you spell?
Miss Honey taught us how to spell a long word yesterday. We can spell difficulty.
You couldn't spell difficulty if your life depended on it.
All right, next up, step number 4, practice speaking faster. Now, that might sound weird because you're like, I'm trying to, but if you try to actually speak faster, then it's really gonna help be able to catch up when you're in real-time practice. Now, how can you do this? Well, for one, you can actually mirror what people are saying. What I mean by mirroring is when you are watching something on Netflix, there's a character that says one sentence, then just copy exactly what they're saying, right? So if maybe a girl says, I have to go to the chiropractor tonight. Okay, then pause what you're watching and then try to say it exactly how they say it. I need to go to the chiropractor tonight. If that sounds really scary at first, say it slow first. I need to go to the chiropractor tonight. Okay, and then try to make it faster. I need to go to the chiropractor tonight. Do that little by little. It's gonna feel like you need to do it many times. It's gonna be a very tedious practice, but when you get to go into the real world and speak native English with native English speakers, it's going to sound more natural and easier for you to do it. All right, so that's it. Those are all the steps you need to sound like a native English speaker, to speak fast and understand them perfectly. It really just takes practice. Practice is everything. Nobody got great at playing the piano without practicing every single day, okay? And so you need to do your part. You need to spend 10-20 minutes every single day practicing English if that's where you want to be in your life. Remember what I was saying at the beginning of this video. There's so many doors that open once you have perfect English skills. You already have your own language. If you are a native Spanish speaker, that's incredible. There's so many jobs out there that need someone who is perfectly bilingual in English and Spanish. If you go into a job interview when there's other people who are like you and speak both languages, if you have the best English out of all of them, you're gonna win. So keep that in mind. All right, if you want to keep going and keep learning English with me, check out this next video over here. It is dedicated to pronouncing these 14 words properly. It is 14 of the most common mistakes even native English speakers say. So go ahead and learn these words and how to pronounce them correctly.